Welcome to my channel Ravi Electronics for you. Today we are going to learn about semiconductors. What are the types of semiconductors? What are the examples? And mainly we are going to focus on why silicon is preferred over germanium. What is semiconductor? So semiconductor is the type of conductor which will conduct semi is not fully, it is not going to conduct, it is going to conduct based on the amount of energy we given to the material. The examples of semiconductors are silicon and germanium. These are the examples for semiconductors. Now we are going to see why silicon is preferred over germanium. Components, for example, diode, transistor, and any ICs. Majorly these things are fabricated with silicon material. All these things are fabricated with silicon material. Mostly only silicon material is preferred over germanium. Now we are going to learn about why silicon is preferred over germanium. For that, we will start from the atomic structure of silicon and germanium. So this is the silicon and this is the germanium. Now we will start from the atomic structure. So as per Bohr's model, so we'll start from the atomic structure. The atomic number for silicon is is 14 and the atomic number for germanium is 32. Now with respect to Bohr's model, or you can say it is Bohr's theory, we need to draw how the atomic structure look like for silicon and germanium. Before that, we need to understand what is nuclei. So nuclei is the combination of proton plus neutron. Proton is represented with a positive symbol and neutron is represented with, it's a 0, it's nullified. So this is become as a positive. So here we need to keep the nuclei has a positive symbol. So this is my nuclei. This is a nuclei, and around this nuclei we will be having orbitals. So I can say this is the orbital 0. Sorry, we'll start from orbital 1. So this is orbital 1 and we'll be having orbital 2. Okay, now we are going to calculate how many electrons per orbital. Now this is the nuclei. We need to check that how many electrons will be distributed per orbital. For that, the formula is given as like this. So number of electrons per orbit we can define as 2n square. So with that, if first orbit number of electrons are 2, n is 1, that is first orbit square. So it will give as a 2. So in first orbit we can say that there will be 2 electrons. Now in the second orbit, so n equal to 2 square, so it will give 8. So in the second orbital you will be having 8 electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Here if you see the atomic number for silicon, this is a 14. Now we are having 8 plus 2, 10. So with that we can understand that the third orbit is having 4 electrons. So it will become 14. This is the atomic number. So automatically we can say that in the third orbit, we can say it is having 4 electrons. So this orbit, it is called as a valency band, or it is called as outermost. This is called as outermost shell. This is called outermost shell. Outermost shell, or it is called as a valency band. So if you observe, in the outermost shell we are having 4 electrons. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now we'll check the same thing for germanium. So we understand that germanium is having 32 is the atomic number. So with the 32, again we need to do the same calculations, and we need to write down what is the how many are the number of electrons per orbit, and we know we are going to check for that. So I'm going to quickly draw the orbital structure for germanium. So you'll be placing the nuclei at the center, and you're going to draw the orbitals. So for sure, since it is having 14 is the atomic number, this is 32, definitely the number of orbitals will be more in the germanium. So this is orbital 1, this is the orbital 2, and this is the orbital 3, and I can say this is the orbital 4. Now we are going to calculate the same theory, and we are going to accumulate the number of electrons per orbit. Now here again, if we can take it from this. So the first orbit is having 2 electrons. So as usual, this is also will have 2 electrons, and the second orbit will have 8 electrons. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Now we are going to calculate for third orbit. For third orbit, 2 into 3 power 2, that is 18. So here second orbit, the same thing, 2 power 2 square, you will having 8, and here first orbit you are having 2 power 1 square, it is 2. So here we have lost with 28. Now in order to make this atomic number 32 complete, we need to have the fourth orbit should have 4 electrons. Here I am going to keep this fourth orbit as a 4 electrons, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the third orbit you are having 18 electrons, so you are going to fill with 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. Now if you see this similarity between the silicon and the germanium, the outermost orbit, it is also having 4 electrons, and here also you are having 4 electrons. Okay, so from this we can say that any semiconductor or all the semiconductors will have 4 electrons at the outermost orbital. That is the first point. And the second point is, here if you clearly observe, it is having n equal to 1, n equal to 2 and n equal to 3. It is having 3 orbitals and it is having 4 orbitals, 1, 2, 3, and this is the fourth one. Now, in order to make this electron to move in a free band, or in order to move this electron into conduction band, the energy required to move this electron in order to move this electron into conduction band, the energy required here is the energy required to move this electron into conduction band is 1.1 electron volt. Here the energy required to move this electron, is 0.7 electron volt. Now we need to understand why this is 0.7, why it is only 1.1 electron volt. If you see, the nuclei is a positive symbol and this electron is a negative symbol. So the attraction force from this nuclei to the third orbital, comparatively the fourth orbital, it is more, because it is into the fourth orbital, this is into the third orbital. So definitely the attraction force from this nuclei to the outermost shell orbital, that valence band electron, will be more compared to the nuclei. Because of this reason, even if you use the germanium parts, like diodes and diodes or transistors, in the room temperature, or if the temperature increases, there is a chances that this electron can conduct. This electron can be conduct, and it can move into the free electron band, or it can move into the valency band, so it will get in conduct. That is the reason why silicon is preferred than germanium, because silicon needs at least 1.1 electron volt to make this electron to conduct, whereas it requires only 0.7 electron volt. This can be sometimes at the room temperature, this can be achieved, this may not be achieved. So this is the reason why silicon is preferred than germanium. There will be more theories behind this, where this outermost shell is called as a valency band, and to make this valency band electron to move into the conduction band, you require 1.1 electron volt, and the same thing to make the electron to move from valency band to the conduction band, that is between we will be having forbidden energy gap. From that, it requires at least 1.7 electron volt. This is the difference between the energy band, that the energy required to move the electron into free, to make the electron free. Okay, so because of this reason, silicon is preferred, or silicon is widely used than germanium in the industries. Now in upcoming videos, I am going to concentrate on how these diodes are used in industries, transistors and ICs, general purpose ICs are used in industries. I am going to concentrate on that. I am going to showcase what is the difference between the ICs, or what is the packages used in college days for diode and transistor, how it is revolved in the industries. Those things I am going to showcase in my upcoming videos. Please subscribe to my channel for more interesting technical data. Thank you.